Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journal. Hope you're all doing fine. And today we are not going to begin with a new book. That's because I found one more unit inside Marcus Aurelius Meditations, the book I read. And that's appendix part, all right? So we're not going to miss anything. So let's just properly read everything, all right? So let's do this. Appendix. Correspondence of Marcus Aurelius Antonius and M. Cornelius Fronto. M. M. Cornelius Fronto was a Roman by descent, but of provincial birth, being native to Crete in Numidia. Thence he migrated to Rome in the reign of Hadrian and became the most famous rhetorician of his day. As a pleader and orator, he was counted by his contemporaries, hardly inferior to Tully himself, and as a teacher his aid was sought for the nobles youth of Rome. To him was entrusted the education of Marcus Aurelius and of his colleague Alvarus in their boyhood, and he was rewarded for his efforts by a seat in the Senate and the consular rank. AD 143. That's a year, right? By the exercise of his profession, he became wealthy. And if he speaks of his means as not great, he must be comparing his wealth with the grandees of Rome, not with the ordinary citizen. Before the present century, nothing was known of the works of Fronto, except a grammatical treatise. But in 1815, Cardinal Mai published a number of letters and some short essays of Fronto, which he had discovered in a palimpsest at Milan. Other parts of the same MS he found later in the Vatican, the whole being collected. We now possess parts of his correspondence with Antonius Pius, with Marcus Aurelius, with Alvarus, and with certain of his friends, and also several rhetorical and historical fragments. Though none of the more ambitious works of Fronto have survived, there are enough to give proof of his powers. Never was a great literary reputation less deserved. It would be hard to conceive of anything more vapid than the style and conception of these letters. Clearly, the man was a pedant without imagination of taste. Such indeed was the age he lived in, and it is no matter that he was and it is no marvel that he was like to his age. But there must have been more in him than mere pedantry. There was indeed a heart in the man, which Marcus found, and he found also a tongue which could speak the truth. Fronto's letters are by no means free from exaggeration and laudation. but they do not show that loathsome flattery which filled the Roman court. He really admires that he praises, and his way of saying so is not unlike what often passes for criticism at the present day. He is not afraid of reproof what he thinks amiss, and the astonishment of Marcus at this will prove, if proof were needed, that he was not used to plain dealing. How happy I am, he writes, that my friend Marcus Cornelius, so distinguished as an orator, and so noble as a man, thinks me worth praising and blaming. In another place he deems himself blessed because Pronto had taught him to speak the truth, although the context shows him to be speaking of expression. It is still a point in favor of Pronto. Insincere heart is better than a literal taste, and if Pronto had not done his duty by the young prince, it is not easy to understand the friendship once remained between them up to the last. An example of the frankness which was between them is given by a difference they had over the case of Herodes Atticus. Herodes was a Greek rhetorician who had a schoolodrome, and Marcus Aurelius was among his pupils. Both Marcus and the Emperor Antonius had a high opinion of Herodes. And all we know goes to prove he was a man of high character and princely generosity. When quite young, he was made administrator of the free cities in Asia, nor is it surprising to find that he made bitter enemies there. Indeed, a just ruler was sure to make enemies. The end of it was that an Athenian deputation, headed by the orators Theodorus and Demostratus, made serious accusation against his honor. There is no need to discuss the merits of the case here. Suffice it to say, Herodes succeeded in defending himself to the satisfaction of the emperor. Pronto appears to have taken the delegate's part and to have accepted a brief for the prosecution urged to some extent by personal considerations. And in this cause, Marcus Aurelius writes to Fronto as follows: Aurelius Caesar, to his friend Fronto, greeting. I know you have often told me you were anxious to find how you might best please me. Now is the time. Now you can increase my love towards you, if it can be increased. A trial is at hand, in which people seem likely not only to hear your speech with pleasure, but to see your indignation with impatience. I see no one who dares give you a hint in the matter, for those who are less friendly prefer to see you act with some inconsistency, and those who are more friendly fear to seem too friendly to your opponent if they should dissuade you from your accusation. Then again, in case you have prepared something near for the occasion, they cannot endure to rob you of your harangue, 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 by silencing you. Therefore, whether you think me a rash counselor, or a bold boy, or too kind to your opponent, not because I think it better, I will offer my counsel with some caution. But why have I said offer my counsel? No, I demand it from you. I demanded it boldly, and if I succeed, I promise to remain under your obligation. What? You will say, if I am attacked, shall I not pay tit for tat? Oh, but you will get greater glory if even when attacked you answer nothing. Indeed, if he begins it, answer as you will, and you will have fair excuse. But I have demanded of him that he shall not begin, and I think I have succeeded. I love each of you according to your merits, and I know that I was educated in the house of P. Calvisius, my grandfather, and that I was educated by you. Therefore, I am full of anxiety that this most disagreeable business shall be managed as honorably as possible. I trust you may approve my advice. For my intention, you will approve. At least I prefer to write unwisely rather than to be silent unkindly. All right, Ferrante replied, and we're gonna figure out what he replied tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. See you tomorrow. Bye.